Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be unboxing my iPad Pro 12.9 2021 and the Apple Pencil second generation that's compatible with this model of iPad Pro. I got both of these off Apple's website, and the pencil took about like 2 days to get delivered, whereas this took close to 2 months to get delivered. So this is my first iPad ever, so I'm not going to be running any sort of comparison to the previous versions, and just take this as an unboxing or a review video from somebody who will be solely using this, not solely, but who will mostly be using this for the purpose of creating digital art and probably using a few design softwares as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's get to reviewing the experience beginning right from the start. It arrived in a pretty snug and secure packaging, and that was quite reassuring because it was raining quite heavily around the time that it got delivered to the place that I live in. And just in case I haven't mentioned this before, this iPad has a storage of 256 GB. The packaging was quite intuitive and easy to undo because it had these flaps and tapes going around at the right places. It felt as though it were warming me up for the big reveal that lay ahead. And the screen. The screen was big, just like I had wanted it to be, because I intend to use it for my drawings, and I didn't want to cut corners when it came to having a good drawing experience. So there's this engraving at the back which I'm not going to read out, and it looked so stunning, was slim, and both to hold and to touch it because of its matte finish. It was quite cool. I just can't stop raving about the whole packaging because you could see very clearly the whole thought that went behind it, and that contributed to this experience of finding your way around it so enjoyable and memorable in this case. Okay, now it's time to fast forward by a week. So hey, what's up? I'm shooting this video a whole week after I had made that unboxing video, and I used the iPad on a number of occasions throughout the week, like for reading mails, playing games, watching movies, all of that, not such heavy duty tasks. But I mostly took time to getting my head around using Procreate. And on that note, I'll be demoing an artwork towards the end of this video. But first things first, my iPad has been prepped up and ready to use. I have put ESR's matte non-reflective screen protector over it, which is apparently a dupe for Paper Likes, which is not that is not available in India, but I got this off Amazon. Retails for 1299, but I got a certain discount on it. And this thing, I mean, like, I launched this single-handedly on my iPad, and it took me around like 20 minutes to do it. But it was a little complicated, but I focused hard, took the help of a number of videos on YouTube, and then I was able to do it. Not a number of videos really, like one video by ESR. And I think that's helpful, you know, you take responsibility for doing it the best way you can because it's your possession. And yeah, I was able to do it, and I did it without no bubbles at the end of it at all. So although I previously said that I'm not going to be running any comparison to the older versions of iPad, I would still like to state that the liquid retina XDR display on this iPad is simply mind-blowing. I mean, it creates such stunning visuals that, and during a number of times it felt like I was getting sucked into the screen. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the kind of experience it creates, and I simply loved that. That's something that totally stood out. I haven't run really high fidelity softwares on it yet, so I cannot comment much on the M1 chip, but the liquid XDR display, well, that's something to watch out for. Now getting to the softwares, this came unexpectedly empty. I had thought it will at least be equipped with Procreate, but it wasn't, so I went right ahead and purchased it for 899 rupees. And that is luckily a one-time purchase, so no subscriptions involved. And me being somebody who has used Photoshop for the longest time, that was something which I had sought first when I started using this app. But that was available in Apple Store as a bundle with 3 other applications: Photoshop, Illustrator, Spark, and probably Premiere Pro Rush, and I got that for free, but that's free only for a month. Moving on, Photoshop is going to cost me $8.99. Now that's the case of Photoshop. I'm not sure about the other apps. And yes, Fresco is available for free as well, so it's good. And I'm not sure if I'll be making that investment for Photoshop of $8.99 per month, because with that kind of a sum to be paid towards it, that would mean I should be using it every day, and I'm not sure if I can give so much time to Photoshop, because there's Procreate and Fresco to learn as well. So I've never really made any serious drawing attempts using a pen tablet before, which is why I've been wanting to get a monitor tablet for the longest time. I remember using Huon's pen tablet once, and the experience was bad. I mean, the whole hand and eye coordination thing that tablet required was, it felt very inconvenient to me, and the whole experience just pushed me off. But ironically, I'm much more comfortable using the mouse, because the mouse is what I had first picked up when I started making digital art, which goes back to as far as 12 to 13 years ago. And so when the time came for me to upgrade, I knew that I wanted something which would simplify the process, and so it was definitely, the choice was a monitor tablet. And I was pretty confused between what to get. I compared Wacom Intuos to certain models of XP Pen and Huon, and then I discovered that I am somebody who's always on the move, like mostly always on the move, and I want something which can work independently. It's more portable, it's lighter. So the choice was for sure the iPad, and I'm so happy that I got it, because unlike the other choices, the options that I had, I don't have to connect this to anything to get it working. So I can just sit anywhere, pull it out, and start using it. So let's head over and see how it all turns out with Procreate. So I made this very rough sketch of a girl, which I then exported onto the iPad, and I'll be drawing over this. This took me about like 30 minutes to make. It's very rough, and I have not put any details on it whatsoever. Whatever details there could be, I'm going to do them in Procreate. So let's begin. Now my drawing has been transferred to the iPad, and I have created a canvas which is customized because I wanted to fit my drawing, which is vertical in its orientation. I wanted to fit properly around the canvas, which is why I'm making these adjustments of cropping and clipping the main canvas size. So here's me getting used to the interface rather slowly. So I've chosen the Willow charcoal brush, and from the tutorials that I've seen, this brush works really well when you want to make outlines, proper outlines, over which you can fill in your colors later. Also, at this point, I was not at all acquainted with the brush library here, just about a few. So I thought I'd just go with the suggestions which were in the tutorials, and this Willow charcoal brush turned out to be a pretty good find and a fit for my drawings. At this point, I only know so much about the brushes in Procreate, so I would really like it if you guys let me know in the comments which brushes would you suggest for creating better artworks in Procreate, because I could totally do with that suggestion now. So now let's talk about my girl a bit. She's totally out of my imagination, and she's as random as it gets with those fabled duck lips. I haven't used any references to conceive her, and she's definitely not some model of Pinterest. It's not like I'm totally against using references, but I rarely do so, and when I do, it's mostly when I need cues on how light and shadow work on the skin, or when I want to know how a certain body part looks from a certain angle. Because let's face it, I'm yet to master the human anatomy. Now, I'm thinking of giving my duck-lipped model a futuristic and cyberpunkish look. Cyberpunkish, I don't know if there's a word like that. A cyberpunk-ish look is what I mean, which is at the same time a little historical and dated looking. I don't know how I came upon this, but it just happened because I love neons, and who doesn't these days? So I'll be adding a jewelry that has a certain historical accent to it, and that which is contemporary at the same time. So you will see as I go along. I'm almost about finished with my girl because most of the colors, main colors, have been sealed in. Now what's really left is to put the details in them, which is really fun, especially when you do the makeup. You have this varied options in colors that you can choose from. No limitations really. That's really fun. I enjoy doing that a lot. If you have your eyeballs darted at the two sides of the screen, you don't have to do that because they are not very well synced. The transition drawing is running a tad bit slower than the process drawing, but they do catch up at one point. I know I've been moving pretty fast with the drawing, but if I weren't, this video would have stretched to hours. So finally it looks like both the sides of the screen have synced up, and in some time the right side is going to disappear because that's when my phone space ran out, and then the recording stopped. So this will be replaced by another view of the time-lapse drawing, and the background dark synth music that you've been hearing is going to take center stage, and then I'll meet you after that. So that was quite tiring. It took me about an hour to finish up this drawing and the recording as well, but unfortunately my phone space ran out midway and the recording stopped, which I was doing from the top. But fortunately Procreate has an inbuilt time-lapse recorder, and it recorded the entire process from start till the finish. I didn't know that Procreate had that, and it's such a wonderful thing that it does. Now this drawing that I made has about 3 to 4 hours of experience behind it, and I owe all of that to the tutorials and all of the guidance I sought online, and I just finished up this whole learning in a couple of days that I could. And especially if you have some experience with Photoshop, you will get around to Procreate without not a lot of difficulty. So yes, I hope I was able to help you in my own little way in showing you around Procreate while I created this ancient Egyptian looking siren in a nightclub in outer space. So I hope you've liked it, and I hope you've liked the whole video. Thank you so much for watching it till here, and I'll see you around. Bye.